चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान् सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome back to the Friday and Saturday Bhakti Shastri series on the nectar of devotion. In the last class, we began with Rupa Goswami's verse by verse discussion on the nectar of devotion, as well as we have been simultaneously looking into Prabhupada's redemption of the summary study. We are doing some parallel study just to get an idea of how Prabhupada has presented his summary study so that we can nicely study the summary study. Along with that, we can go in depth into the nectar of devotion of Rupa Goswami with the Acharya's commentaries of Jiva Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So in that context, in the last class, we saw the introductory verse to the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. That was this famous verse. We saw the concept of Vastu Nirdesh. What is Vastu Nirdesh? That the Mangalacharan is having these three aspects: Vastu Nirdesh, Ashirvad, Namaskar. Then we saw we get the description of the Paratattva, or the actual object, the absolute truth, by the Vastu Nirdesh. And we saw the Chaitanya Charitamrita Vastu Nirdesh, and then the Bhagavatam Vastu Nirdesh, and then the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu Vastu Nirdesh, who is Akhila Rasamrit Murti. Although these three are indicating Krishna, but they are indicating different aspects of Krishna. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is Krishna in his feature as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has come in the mood of Srimati Radharani. In Bhagavatam, it is Vasudev, through whom is creation, maintenance, and destruction. manifest. And in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is Krishna as a rasa. So because the subject matter of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is rasa, so the Vastu Nirdesh is Akhila Rasamrit Murti. And then we gave example of Sachin Tendulkar in his different aspects in the cricket stadium performing while sitting inside the stadium and giving a commentary, and Sachin Tendulkar playing or being at home with his family and with his son playing cricket. He is relishing different rasas. So similarly, the absolute truth in his different features is relishing different rasas. And because subject matter of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is rasa, Rupa Goswami defines the absolute truth as Akhila Rasamrita Murti. So then we went into the discussion of what is the Vidu, meaning of Vidu. Vidu means Vidanoti, two reasons: surpasses everything, destroys all suffering. Vidu also means Vidadhati, produces, and it means produces all happiness, and he produces all the incarnations, or is the cause of all incarnations. So for reason 1A and B and reason 2A and B, we gave references. In fact, Rupa Goswami gives, Jiva Goswami gives many quotations from the Shastras, but we have selected one verse. This is from the 3rd canto, and then destroys all suffering from the Bhishma's prayers. And then produces all happiness. This is again from the 3rd canto. And source of all, Ete Chamsa Kalapumsa. So that way, Vidur Jayati means he excels all others because he has excellent qualities. And then we went into, he has these 4 qualities, and he's having all these 20 rasas included in him. And these 12 rasas, proof is Mallanam, Ashnir, Nirnam. And all the rasas we saw, how everyone saw Krishna in all the different rasas in the battle arena of Kamsa. And then further, Prasmara Ruchi Ruddha Taraka Pali. What does it mean? He controls the gopis, the lower level of gopis headed by Taraka and Pali, by his radiant effulgence. So we discussed what does Prasmara Ruchi Radha Taraka Pali mean. Then Khalita Shama Lalita. So he embraces or accepts Shamala and Lalita. But for Radha, what it is Radha Prayan. Gives most pleasure to Radha. So the other gopis, Krishna controls them or embraces or accepts them, but Krishna serves Srimati Radharani. So that's the supreme position of Srimati Radharani. So we saw this, and then the position of Radharani as a chief gopi, we saw the references from the Padma Puran and the Brihad Gautamiya Tantra, which we have been also saying in the Nectar of Instruction. So that's where we discussed the Akhil Rasamrit Murti verse. And then the question is, why only Madhurya Leela pastimes with respect to Akhil Rasamurti? Because Madhurya Leela contains all the other, Madhurya Ras contains all other rasas. So this is regarding the Akhil Rasamrit Murti verse. And as I mentioned, there is another metamorphical literary device explanation of the Akhil Rasamrit Murti verse, but we will not go into that today. Some other time. It is a very philosophical and it's not required for us now. So now let us go to the next part, the next verse of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Now after the Vastu Nirdesh, there is Namaskar. Namaskar is offering obeisances. So we know that Mangalacharan hoy Trivida Prakar, Vastu Nirdesh, Ashirvad, Namaskar. So it has these 3 aspects, Vastu Nirdesh, Ashirvad and Namaskar. So now we will go to Namaskar. So few verses few verses in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu will speak about Namaskar. And today we will be seeing these few verses and the division of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So let us go to the next verse of Namaskar. Before that, let us see the definition of Namaskar. What constitutes Namaskar? Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela. Grantera Arambe Kari Mangala Charan Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinira Smaran. Grantera Arambe. In the beginning of the scripture, Kari Mangalacharan. I offer the Mangalacharan. And Mangalacharan, whom all? To Guru, Vaishnav and Bhagavan. Tinira Smaran. I remember the spiritual master, the Vaishnavas and Bhagavan. What are the benefits of offering Namaskar? This is the next verse. Tinera Smarane Hoy Vigna Vinashana Anayasa Hoya Nija Vanchita Purana. Tinira Smarana Hoy, by remembering all these three, Guru, Vaishnava and Bhagavan, Vigna Vinashaha, all the obstacles are completely removed. So in completing this work, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami is offering his Namaskar to Guru, Vaishnavas and Bhagavan so that he can complete this work. So that is why every work which is written by Acharyas begins with Mangalacharan, where they offer these Namaskars to Bhagavan, Vaishnavas and Guru so that they can invoke the auspiciousness and destroy all the obstacles in completing the work. So, Vigna Vinashana and Nija Vanchita Puran. So, the desire to complete the work anayase, easily, it will be completed. So, now in the Namaskar, we saw in the Mangalacharan Vastu Nirdesh verse, that is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 111. Now, in Namaskar, there are three things. What are the three things? Offering obeisances, Bhagwan Vandana, Guru Vandana, and Vaishnava Vandana. Because we saw in the verse, Guru, Vaishnava, Bhagwan, Tinera Smaran. So Rupa Goswami has composed one verse glorifying Bhagwan, glorifying the Guru, glorifying the Vaishnavas. And here I have mentioned the verse of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 112, 113, 114. And in parallel Nectar of Devotion, it is paragraph 2, 3, and 4 respectively. So let us now go to first Namaskar, which is Bhagwan Vandana to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 112. This is a very, very famous and very inspiring prayer. And at least devotees, although it is not part of Bhakti Shastri, but they should try to practice reciting this Akhila Rasamrita Murti verse and also these verses. There will be few verses which I will give you in the form of a word file, which you can take print out and recite. Just by reciting these verses, your heart will be also filled with rasa. So let us recite this verse. 112 Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Hridayasya prernaya pravrittoham varakarupopi tasya hare padakamalam vande chaitanya devasya. So now my question is, two questions. We'll go a little interactive and we'll have some discussion. This second verse, I mentioned in Namaskar, there is Guru Vandana, Vaishnava Vandana, and Bhagwan Vandana. So in this verse, which Vandana is Rupa Goswami offering, whether it is to Guru, Bhagwan, or Vaishnava? Raise your hand if you want to answer. Or you type directly to me in the chat box. Okay. Let us give first Dhanlakshmi Mataji chance. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, it is Lord Krishna because the lotus feet, Pada Kamalam of the Supreme Lord, in the form of Chaitanya Deva.
Yes, okay. Let me hear others. Wait. Nitya Sevini Mataji also had raised her hand. Yes, Mataji, what you would like to say?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Bhagavan Vandana Prabhu.
It is Bhagavan Vandana,
Yes,
but
first lotus feet.
who is that Bhagavan?
Supreme Personality.
Oh, name him.
Lord Krishna.
No.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the mistake we make. So it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vande Chaitanya Devasya. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Vastu Nirdesh was addressing the absolute truth as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only. Because there Krishna in his feature as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Here also it is Tasya Hare Pada Kamalam. But Krishna in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is Bhagwan Vandana and Rupa Goswami. For us, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, for us the worshipable Lord is for us Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is our Yuga avatar. Through him only we can reach Krishna. So that's why he's offering respects to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vande Chaitanya Devasya. Okay, let us see the translation now. I offer my respects one day to the lotus feet, Pada Kamalam, of the Supreme Lord in the form of Chaitanya Dev. See, very clear the translation. Tasya Hare Chaitanya Devasya. Though I am a wild person by nature, Varaka Rupopi. Wild means, I'm very fallen. I'm very sinful like that. By his inspiration within my heart, Hridhi Yasya Prernaya, I have undertaken this work. Pravrito Aham. Pravritaha Aham. So let us see now, both Jeev Goswami and Vishwanath Chakra Thakur write commentaries to these verses. And Jeev Goswami, in fact, his commentary is quite elaborate to the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So we will see Jeev Goswami's commentary and then we will see how Prabhupada has explained this verse. Jeev Goswami. In this verse, the author offers his respect to the avatar who delivers the people of Kali Yuga by spreading devotion to himself, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Deva, the Supreme Lord, and particularly to his lotus feet, Tasya Hare Pada Kamalam, which have become his shelter. So Rupa and Sanatan surrendered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they were the direct disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So directly Rupa Goswami is offering his prostrated obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By his inspiration within my heart, I have been able to accomplish this work. He addresses himself as low, Varaka Rupa, out of humility. So this is the natural quality of a very advanced devotee. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami also in his Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says, I am lower than a worm in a stool. This is too difficult for us to digest. But they don't just say that, they actually mean it because they have that genuine humility. So this is the quality of a pure devotee. They are having this genuine humility and they are expressing this humility. And that's why he's saying, I am Varaka Rupa. Saraswati, however, cannot tolerate that. Therefore, she produces another meaning. So although Rupa Goswami is saying Varaka Rupa, now Saraswati, she, combines these words, these letters into different combinations and brings out another meaning. So that is very beautiful. Vara means the best. Deha Deha Bratam Vara, as in the Bhagavad Gita 8.4, oh, best among the embodied beings. Krishna addresses Arjuna. So Vara means the best. A combined with Ka becomes Akhyayati. which means boldly indicates. So Vara and Akhyayati, Vara Akhyayati, Varaka Rupo, here Varaka Rupa means low, but what Saraswati does is she breaks Vara and A and Kha and makes it Vara Akhyayati, means one what? Therefore, Varaka stands for Varam Akhyayati. She praises him as the best who is clearly, sorry, the person who is clearly indicated as the best. So he's the best. So that's how Saraswati changes the meaning. As I was mentioning, Deha Deha Pratam Vara, oh best among the embodied beings. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna addresses Arjuna. Similarly, Varam Akhyayati, the person who is clearly indicated as the best. So that's how Saraswati brings out this morning. The word api in this verse indicates that only by the inspiration of the Lord and not otherwise will a person be able to dedicate himself to writing a worthy literary work. So that is the meaning of api. So this is how Jiva Goswami explains this verse. Now Srila Prabhupada in his paragraph 2 gives the translation, he paraphrases the translation of this verse in paragraph 2. So what those who are very much keen that they should study very systematically the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, so I would request and later on as you find time, I have just, this is my textbook Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, where you can see paragraph 1 is numbered here, and then I have mentioned Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 111. Then this is paragraph 2. This is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 112. This is paragraph 3. This is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 113. This is paragraph 4. This is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 114. So already now you have the textbook with the Acharya's commentaries. I hope everyone has the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu summary study book also. So like that, if you study very systematically both the original verses of Rupa Goswami as well as Srila Prabhupada's summary study, then you will relish your summary study and you'll get a more in-depth understanding of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and that will help you in your spiritual life, especially to advance, because Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is the topmost book on the science of pure devotion. So that is why I showed you in this book how I have done. So those who want to seriously study Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, we recommend that you can also do this. So I'll just read paragraph 2. Let me offer my respectful obeisance under the lotus feet of Rupa Goswami Pad and of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada, by whose inspiration I have been engaged in the matter of compiling this summary study, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Now this is Prabhupada's own prayer. It is not Rupa Goswami's prayer. So Prabhupada is praying to Rupa Goswami and his spiritual master Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. This is a sublime science of devotional service as propounded by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who appeared 500 years ago in West Bengal, India, to propagate the movement of Krishna consciousness. So this is how Prabhupada offers his own respectful obeisances to Rupa Goswami and his spiritual master, but he doesn't translate the verse which is there originally here in Sanskrit. As I mentioned, in the summary study, the author has a lot of scope to present things as he wants. Prabhupada, that's why once he said, summary study means you can do any damn thing as you like. So Prabhupada is using that freedom to express his prayers also. So that is the second verse of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Any questions, any clarifications you have, you can raise your hand before you go to the next verse. Anyone has any questions? Okay. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, to what commentary Jiva Goswami had written on Bhakti Samhita, to become Samhita. That is also summary study, or that is a commentary is different from summary study?
Okay. So the question here is that Jiva Goswami has written a commentary on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Is it a summary study or is it a commentary? Actually, Jiva Goswami has written a commentary. It is called as Tika. Tika is a commentary on the original verses of Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami did not write a commentary. Rupa Goswami just composed the verses. And it is only Jiva Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti who wrote commentaries on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. These are the two principal commentaries which we can refer, which are coming in the bona fide Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. Now, Srila Prabhupada, when he was writing his summary study, he referred to original Rupa Goswami verses and other Acharya's commentaries, but he presented the whole, subject, because it is not like there is a verse, there is a translation, then there is a commentary, word to word meaning, the English translation. So he had the freedom just to, in each paragraph, summarize what each verse is speaking. So that is what is a summary study. So that is completely different. Jiva Goswami has actually written a detailed commentary. In fact, without Jiva Goswami's commentary, it is impossible to enter into the mystery of Rupa Goswami's work, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. It is impossible, because Jiva Goswami was assisting Rupa Goswami while writing Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and he knew the heart of Rupa Goswami. So his commentary is quite in depth, and we will come to know when we study the verse Anya Vilashita Shunyam, the definition of pure devotional service. Okay, Ratna Mataji has a question. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Not exactly a question, it's a clarification, Prabhu. In the Bhagwan Vandana, where we did, it mentions Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the work is of Akhila Rasamrita Sindhu, right? So, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu represents the highest rasa, that's Madhurya Rasa, that is why the Bhagavan Vandana is taken as that of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Is that how we understand it, Prabhu?
No. We don't understand it like that. Just like, I'll give you a simple example to understand this. The 6 Goswamis were followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But please see what are the literary works that they composed. Although they are followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they composed original Sanskrit works only speaking about Krishna Lila. None of the Goswamis have written about Chaitanya Lila. Be it, Laghu Bhagavatamrit, Brahat Bhagavatamrit, Lalit Madhav, Vidagdha Madhav, all Krishna's pastimes, Krishna Lilas, and all are composed in Sanskrit. None of the Goswamis have discussed Chaitanya Lila as, the works. It's only Kavi Karanpur who has written on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes in a poetic way. And the Mahaprabhu followers in Bengal, they all composed Bengali literatures only about pastimes. So the pastimes are more composed in Bengal of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whereas the philosophy of the Gaudiya Vaishnavism, where our worshipable object is Krishna only, through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is composed by the Goswamis. And it is only Kaviraj Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who composed a Bengali work, who composed pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he presented the philosophy. That is why Chaitanya Charitamrita is very, very special book for us. And Srila Prabhupada, that's why he gave so much emphasis on Chaitanya Charitamrita that he stopped writing the commentary on Bhagavatam, and as an emergency gave his commentary and purports to the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And we know that pastime, how Within few months, the books were printed. And then he continued with the Bhagavatam commentary because it's so important, because the whole philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So my point is that they are discussing about Krishna Tattva only, philosophy, but their worshipable Lord is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the avatar who delivers people in the age of Kali. So, okay, next, let us go to the next verse now. This is also a very, very beautiful verse. Now, can anyone tell me what this verse is dealing with? Whether it is, which verse it is, Guru Vandana, Bhagavan Vandana, or Vaishnava Vandana? It's a little difficult, but try. Just see the verse and tell me. Or the verse. Vishrama Mandiratyasya Sanatanor Madhishasya Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu Bhavatu Sadayam Pramodaya. So it is what? Bhagavan Vandana is over. There is only two now. Guru Vandana and Vaishnava Vandana. Anyone else? Mohan Rup Sham Prabhu has typed here. Anyone else who would like to raise their hand? Okay, there is one more. Okay, Dana Lakshmi Mataji also has typed. Anyone else would like to try? Okay. Now, I will ask you a question. Who is the spiritual master of Rupa Goswami? Yes. Yes. Now everyone is typing it correct. He is the spiritual master of Rupa Goswami. He is the elder brother also and is spiritual master. So this is a very, very beautiful verse. I'll recite it once again and then we'll go into the explanation. Yes, everyone is correct now. Vishrama Mandiratyasya Sanatana Madhishasya Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bhavatu Sadayam Pramodaya. May this Bhavatu work named the ocean of nectar composed of Bhakti Ras. Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu. Always, Sada, serve as a recreation hall. Vishrama Mandiratya. You must be having some idea of a recreation hall. Vishram Mandir. Vishram Mandir is where you go and do Vishram, where you go and relax and take pleasure. People, take pleasure in sleeping. For them, happiness is like sleep. So let this work, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, become a recreation hall for whom? Of my Lord, Madhishasya, manifested in the form called Sanatan. Sanatan Goswami. Sanatana, Tano means for his pleasure. Tasya Pramodaya. So Rupa Goswami composed this book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, exclusively for the pleasure of Sanatan Goswami. Let Sanatan Goswami, this book become a recreation hall for Sanatan Goswami where he can rest and take pleasure. So in the Ramayana, there is Varnan, or there is description that the queens also had their Shoka Mandir. Shoka or Vilap, it is, So whenever the wife or the queen used to be upset, then she used to go in that place and then, start weeping or lamenting. And then the king should understand that there is some problem. So this happened when Kaikeyi went into Shok. And there Dashrath went and then she asked those boons. Ram was exiled. So similarly, there is something called as the Vishrama Mandir, recreation hall. It's a Vishram Mandir where you go and take Vishram and to take happiness. So let this ocean of nectar composed of Bhakti Ras become the Vishram Mandir for my Lord, who is manifested in the form of Sanatan Goswami for his pleasure. So again, Jiva Goswami has written a nice commentary. Praising his Guru Sanatan as the avatar of his worshipable Lord, the author then makes a prayer. So he's praising his Guru Sanatan, and Sanatan is what? The avatar of his worshipable Lord, that is Sri Krishna. This scripture is called the Ocean of Nectar, in which the nectar is Bhakti Ras. May this work serve as the resting place of my Lord Sri Krishna, who though always situated in his own form, Sanatana Tanu, manifest many other forms, including the body called Sanatan. Now, the term used by Rupa Goswami is Sanatana Tanu. So this Sanatana Tanu can have two different meanings. It can refer to Krishna, who is having the eternal body, Sanatana Tanu. He has got his own form, and he also manifests many other forms, including the body of the called Sanatan Goswami. So this is a generic reference. This is a specific reference. This is in a generic sense. This is in a specific sense. So Sanatan can be, by poetic literary devices, can have these different meanings. Because the spiritual the spiritual master is also an expansion of Krishna only, a personal manifestation of Krishna. So the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is a resting place for even Sri Krishna, who also manifests many other forms, including the body of Sanatan. Now another deeper meaning. In addition, the ocean is a resting place for another eternally perfect form called Narayan. So the Narayan rests in the Garbhodak ocean. So there he goes and sleeps on the serpent coils and takes pleasure. Similarly, Rupa Goswami is inviting Sanatan Goswami to take rest in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu ocean and take pleasure there. In this case, the normal meaning of Sanatan is taken. So if you take Sanatan, the normal meaning, it is Narayan who rests in the Garbhodak. And in a metamorphical sense, it can refer to Sanatan Goswami also. So it refers to both. Note, thus the verse is a metaphor. As Narayan with eternal body, Sanatana Tanu, lies down in the milk ocean and takes rest, may Sanatan, the empowered expansion of Krishna, lie down and take rest in the work called the ocean of Bhakti Ras. So we like to lie down and take rest, and when we take rest, we feel a lot of pleasure. In fact, especially in afternoon nap, especially when we go into deep sleep and we come out, that deep sleep, we experience certain pleasure, because when we come out of the sleep, you feel happy and you say, I had good rest. But if you're not conscious, then how you experience that you had, certain happiness. So similarly, Vishrama Mandiratya, let you take rest in this mandir, Vishrama Mandir, resting place of what? Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Srila Rupa Goswami begins his great work by offering his respectful obeisances unto Sanatan Goswami, who is his elder brother and spiritual master. And he prays that Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu may be very pleasing to him. He further prays that by residing in that ocean of nectar, Sri Sanatan Goswami may always feel transcendental pleasure in the service of Radha Krishna. So we also, by studying this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, we will start diving in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sagar, and we take pleasure in pure devotional service. So that will also be pleasing to all the Acharyas, and especially the 6 Goswamis and Rupa Goswami. So this is regarding the third verse. Now, Prabhupada translates here. Let's read it in paragraph 3. Srila Rupa Goswami begins his great book by offering his respectful obeisances unto Srila Sanatana Goswami. Now you see, he's exactly translating that verse. He's exactly translating this Vishrama Mandiratya Sanatana Tanor Madishasya. This is how Prabhupada is translating it here. Who is his elder brother and spiritual master, and prays that Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu may be very pleasing to him. He further prays that by residing in that ocean of nectar, Srila Sanatana Goswami may always feel transcendental pleasure in the service of Radha and Krishna. So this is how you can draw parallels between Prabhupada's summary study and the original verses. Now, I will not be regularly referring to the summary study, but wherever there are important points which Prabhupada is hinting in the summary study, I have included them all in the slides only. So I'll be directly now referring to slides. So now let us go to the next verse. This is also a very, very important and a famous verse. This is Vaishnava Vandana, obeisances to the devotees. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindho Charata Paribhuta Kala Jalabiha Bhakta Makaran Ashilita Mukti Nadikan Namasyami. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindho Charata Paribhuta Kala Jalabiha Bhakta Makaran Ashilita Mukti Nadikan Namasyami. Usually, when we are having interactive sessions with the live audience, we make all the audience recite this verse and ask each one of them meaning of each line of the verse. Then it becomes very interesting. But anyone would like to try to recite this verse can raise their hands. You can see the verse and recite. Try it out. Anyone would like to recite this verse? Okay. Ratna Mataji too have raised their hands. Yes, Mataji. 1 minute, I'll unmute you. Yes, Mataji.
Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhau Charata Paribhuta Kala Jalabhiyaha Bhakta Makarana Shilita Mukti Nadikan Namasyami.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Anyone else would like to try to recite it? Okay, fine. Now let us see the meaning. Very interesting meaning. Okay, one more Mataji has raised her hand. Okay. Deepa Dhatri Mataji. Yes, Mataji. I will show you the verse.
Thank you, Prabhu. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindho Charata Paribhuta Kaladhalabhyaha Bhakta Makaran Ashilita Mukti Nadhika Namasyami.
Okay, wonderful. Nitya Sevini Mataji also had raised her hand. Yes, Mataji.
Bhakti Rasamrita Sindho Charataha Paribhuta Kala Jalabhiya Bhakta Makaran Asilita Mukti Nadika Namasyami. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So Srila Prabhupada himself has recited these verses of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and the recording is available in the Prabhupada's list of all the lectures and songs. Prabhupada's recitation of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is available. You can refer that, and you can relish reciting these verses. Bhakti rasamrita sindho charata paribhuta kala jala viha bhakta makarana shilita mukti nadikan namasyami. I offer my respects, namasyami, to the devotees who are like makaras, king among fishes, bhakta makaran. So here he is offering Vaishnavandana and is comparing the Vaishnavas. He's offering the obeisance to the Vaishnava devotees and is comparing the Vaishnavas to Makaran. Now the Makara, we have heard about Krishna who wears a Makara Kundal. So the Makara, at least in the Vedic times, in the olden times, it is well documented or well known that there are these special fish who have three different bodies. There is the body of the crocodile, there is the front portion of the elephant, and the back portion of the fish. So Makar is a very special fish, which is a combination of three different bodies, that of a crocodile, elephant, and a fish. And it is considered the king among all fishes. So the devotees are compared to Makaras. And what do the Makaras do? Forelicking. Forelicking means charata. Where do they forelick? In the sweet ocean of devotional rasa. Bhakti rasamrita sindhu. So I offer my respects to the devotees who are like Makaras, king among fishes, forelicking in the sweet ocean of devotional rasa. So being Makaras and who forelick in the Bhakti Sagar, what do? Who disregard the insignificant rivers of liberation. Ashilita means disregard or abandon. Abandon what? Mukti. Mukti is what? Liberation. And Mukti is compared to Nadikan. Mukti is compared to rivers. So very beautiful metamorphically or literally, Rupa Goswami is composing these verses, you can see. And who are free, paribhuta, from fear, bhiya, caused by the net of time, kala jalam. So here is a very beautiful composition of this verse where Rupa Goswami is offering his prayers or obeisances to those devotees who are Makaras, who forelick in the sweet ocean of Bhakti Sagar, and who disregard liberation, and who are free from the fear of the net of time. So three things have been spoken about the devotees who are like Makaras. Now again, Jiva Goswami has given a very nice commentary to this. Having offered his respects to Sri Sanatan by name, but through literary device, the author offers his respects to all the other devotees who are also dear to him without specifying particular devotees. So here he just offers respects to all devotees who are Vaishnavas. He doesn't specify. The devotees are compared to Makaras. The Makara is an aquatic animal and is called the king of fish. The devotees are similar to Makara in three ways. So in three ways, the devotees are similar to Makaras. Which are the three ways? Let us see. Firstly, the devotees are Makaras devotees as Makaras joyfully swim in unlimited bhakti ras, which is compared to an ocean of nectar, which is the final shelter of various types of rivers of liberation and is full of highest bliss. So first reason why the devotees are compared to Makaras is the Makaras, they swim in the ocean of Bhakti Ras. And even the rivers join the ocean. So in that sense, the Makaras, as the crocodiles or these fishes, they don't stay in the rivers. They reside in the ocean. So in that sense, the devotees disregard the rivers of liberation. Mukti Nadikan Namasyami. No, sorry. Ashlita Mukti Nadikan. Ashlita means they give up or abandon the mukti, which is compared to rivers. Secondly, now the second reason is here. They ignore liberation, which is compared to a river. Ashilita Mukti Nadikan. Ashilita means they ignore or abandon or they disregard. And the liberation is compared to a river. The happiness of merging in Brahman, even though that happiness cuts the bondage of birth and death, and even though that happiness flows eternally, just as a river provides relief and flows constantly without ever stopping. So here you see the analogy of the river and the ocean metaphor. The rivers join the ocean. So all liberation ultimately are included in devotion. You need not separately enter for liberation. So those who are in the Bhakti Sagar, who are relishing the Bhakti Ras, they are not interested in liberation, which is compared to the rivers, because they are already in the ocean. Now, another thing about liberation is, liberation produces happiness because you are free from birth and death. And this happiness, which is called as Brahmananda, it is constantly flowing. So similarly, the river also has these qualities. River provides relief. River provides relief. And liberation provides relief from the cycle of birth and death. And river provides constant flow of water. The constant flow of water of the river to the ocean. Similarly, there is constant flow of Brahmanand, eternal happiness, because it is happiness, eternal happiness. So that's how Rupa Goswami has used an apt metaphor of comparing liberation to the rivers. Ashilita Mukti Nadikan. So this is the second reason why the Makaras and devotees are similar. The third reason, the devotees ignore liberation because they prefer to play in the ocean of Bhakti Ras. So the devotees completely ignore liberation. Why? Because they are already in the ocean. Why they have to go to the rivers and reside there and join the ocean? They are already in the ocean. So now he gives one reference. This is from the famous Kapil Shiksha. Salokya Shashti Samipya Sarupekatvam Apyuta Dhiyamanam Na Grananti Vinamatsevanam Jana. Kapila is saying a pure devotee does not accept any kind of liberation. Salokya, Shashti, Samipya, Sarupya or Ekat. So there are 5 kinds of liberation. If you remember, Salokya means residing in the same planet as the Lord. Shashti means having the same opulence like the Lord. Samipya means residing very near to the Lord. Sarupya means having the same form of the Lord. And Ekatva is the 5th, which is completely rejected by the devotees. That is becoming one with the Lord. So the pure devotee does not accept any kind of liberation, even though they are offered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dhiyamanam na grananti. If that does not include service to him. Vina mat sevanam jana. So if the pure devotee is practicing pure devotional service and the Lord comes and says, please take liberation, come to my abode. He says, no. The devotee will say, no, I don't have time for that. Do you have any service for me there? Then I'm ready to come. Otherwise, I'm happy doing service here. So, performing the 9 limbs of devotion is as good as residing in Vaikuntha. In fact, it is greater than that. So that is how bhakti is. Bhakti is superior to even liberation. So, Vinamat Sevanam Jana. Then another reference is given from the 9th canto, Amrish Maharaj pastimes. Mat sevaya pratitam te Salokadi chatushayam nechanti sevaya purna kutonya kala viluptam. My devotees who are always satisfied to be engaged in my loving service are not interested even in the four principles of liberation. Salokyadi chatushtayam. That is Salokya, Sarupya, Samipya, and Shashti. Ekatvam, that is merging, is completely hellish for a devotee. Although these are automatically achieved by their service, what then is to be said of such perishable happiness as elevation to higher planetary systems? Mat sevaya pratitam. Because they are engaged in my service, they are satisfied in my service, they are not interested in these four kinds of liberation. Kuto anyat kala viluptam. What to speak then of those temporary pleasures which are by time, that is, attaining heavenly happiness. So these two verses show how a pure devotee rejects even liberation. Thirdly, in the ocean of Bhaktiras, they disregard paribhut, the fear arising from time, which causes a succession of miseries through bondage of birth and death, just as fish swimming in the deep ocean are free from the fear of the fisherman's net. Paribhuta kala jala biha. This is understood from the following verse. So the devotees who are like Makaras, the Makaras go deep in the ocean, and deep in the ocean there is quietude and there is calmness and there is purity there. So they are not affected by the fisherman's net, which the fisherman throws and catches. The Makaras cannot come under the fisherman's net. So similarly, the devotees reside in the Bhakti Sagar and they are free from the what? Kala Jhala, the fear of time, the fear of birth, death, and old age and disease. So this is reference is given from the Ajamil's pastime. Now Yamaraj is saying this. Ye siddha, ye deva siddha parigita pavitra gata, ye sadava samodrasho bhagavat prapanna, tannopasadat harir gadya bhiguptan, naisham vayam nacha vaya prabhavama. My dear servants, please do not approach such devotees. These Yamaraj is telling to the Yamdutas because they had gone to Ajamil to pick him up. So don't approach such devotees, for they have fully surrendered to the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead. Bhagavat Prapanna. They are equal to everyone. Samadarsho and the demigods and the inhabitants of Siddhalok sing their narrations. Ye Deva Siddha Parigita Pavitra Gata. Please do not even go near them. The club of the Supreme Personality of Godhead always protects them. And therefore, Lord Brahma, I, and even time factor are not competent to chastise them. Paribhuta Kalajala Biha. Kalajal, the time factor doesn't act on devotees. So this is the reference Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami is giving for Paribhuta Kalajala Biha. So here in this verse, now we are looking into Srila Prabhupada's NOD. Great devotees and acharyas compared to sharks in the great ocean of nectar, Bhakta Makaran. They do not care for the various rivers of liberation. Ashilita Mukti Nadikan. The ocean can be compared to liberation and all the rivers to all the different paths of liberation. The impersonalists are dwelling in the river water, which eventually comes to mix with the ocean. They have no information, however, that within the ocean, as within the river, there are innumerable aquatic living entities. The sharks who dwell in the ocean, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu Charita, do not care for the rivers who are gliding down into it. The devotees eternally live in the ocean of devotional service and they do not care for the rivers. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu Charita. So this is how Prabhupada in paragraph 4 gives the explanation of this verse. Now, again, let's go back to this verse. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Charata Paribhuta Kala Jalabiha Bhakta Makaran Ashilita Mukti Nadikan Namasyami. Now, before devotees ask me questions, I will ask devotees question. Now, the devotees are compared to what? Raise your hand. The devotees are compared to what? Okay, there are one hand, two hands are there. Yes, I would like to see others also participate in this discussion. Harinam Sankirtan Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Others can type.
Yeah, the Magara, the devotees are compared to the Magara.
Makaras. Yes, wonderful.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, okay. Others can type so that. Okay, now next question here, very attentively. The Makaras are compared in three ways. There is similarity in three ways. What is the first reason? What is the first comparison of the Makaras done? Raise your hand if you want to answer. Okay. Yes, there is one answer which is typed correct. Okay. Nitya Sevini Mataji. Oh, okay. Nitya Sevini Mataji, yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
Because first reason is because Makara swim in the ocean of Bhakti Rasa.
Yes. Excellent. So this is the first reason. Now the second reason why, what is the comparison, the Makaras, why devotees are compared to Makaras? What is the second reason? Second reason who would like to answer? Lata Mataji. Yes, Mataji. I've unmuted you.
They reject the liberation also, like how the rivers are entering into ocean, like that they reject the liberation.
Yes, they ignore liberation, which is compared to liberation. Ashilita Mukti Nadikan. And the river has two qualities, and liberation also has these two benefits, you can say. What are the two benefits, and what is that comparison with the river? I hope you are clear with the question. This is within that second reason only. Mohan Rup Sham Prabhu, we will give him chance. Yes.
River is compared to the relief of miseries, but it will give different bodies.
No, it will not give different bodies, no more bodies. Just like river gives relief, liberation gives relief from the cycle of birth and death.
Yeah, if you enter into the ocean, you will get out of the birth cycle.
No. We are not speaking about ocean. We are speaking about river now.
River, okay.
River means liberation. River is Mukti Nadikan. Mukti is compared to Nadikan, liberation. The river has quality that it gives relief. Similarly, liberation gives relief from the cycle of birth and death. Second reason now, river and liberation, what similarity is?
Second reason. Many have answered here. Nitya Sevini Mataji has answered correctly. I would like to still ask Mohan Rup Sham Prabhuji.
A river gives liberation. No, river does not give liberation. Correct.
River gives liberation.
Yeah, river gives liberation. Okay, okay.
Mukti means liberation. River
Liberation.
gives relief, and Mukti gives us relief from the birth and death cycle. Another thing, quality of river is there, which is there when you get liberation.
Relief from the sorrows.
No, it's the same thing you're saying.
Yeah.
We get Brahmananda.
Brahmananda.
That happiness is constantly flowing, just like the river is also constantly flowing towards the ocean. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. So, fine. Now, what is the third reason why, the Makaras, devotees are compared to Makaras? Now we will give, I would like other devotees also to participate. Otherwise, I'll have to ask them to raise their hands. Yes, many are typing also and giving me correct answer. Yes, but still I would like to hear from some devotees. Anyone else would like to answer? Okay, Pavan Bala Prabhuji, we will give him a chance. Pavan Bala Govind Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam Prabhu. Of course, they can avoid the net of materialist world because they can swim deep into the ocean.
Yeah, the devotees are compared to Makara because they dive deep into the Bhakti Rasa and they're free from the Kala Jala Biha.
Kala Jala Biha.
Yeah, they're free from the net of time. Just like, the fishes are free from the fisherman's net, those fishes which go deep in the ocean. So similarly, the devotees who dive deep into the Bhakti Ras, they are free from the Kal, the effects of Kala. Paribhuta Kala Jala Biha. So these are the three reasons. Deep, not in the net of fishermen. Yes, everyone is answering very nicely and very systematically. So this is very happy to know that. So now it's almost 1:10. We have few more verses and we will take that in the next class. We will stop here. Any questions anyone has, I can take up now, because there was one question somebody had raised their hand before. If anyone has questions now, they can raise their hand up till now what we have discussed. Any questions or any clarifications? Regarding the test questions, we will take up later on, but regarding the discussion what we had regarding Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, anyone has any questions? Yes, Ratna Mataji has a question. Yes, Mataji.
Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, I think it's a basic question, but I need clarification. The question is that when we started Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, you showed the picture explaining the meaning of Tatastha. One side is the Bhakti ocean, the other side is the Bhavasagara and Tatastha. And you explained that if you're not in a rasa, you're on the bank, where you just understand that you're not a part of the Bhavasagara, you're an individual.
Yes.
And that is where the jnanis are, and there is no rasa. So
Yes.
Brahmananda is that state where you recognize that you're not part of the material, right? And you have not yet come into rasa. So where does this happiness, which is a rasa, come from?
Okay, it's not a simple question, it's a very deep philosophical question. See, the Jnanis also are relishing spiritual rasa. That rasa is spiritual, but it is not in relationship with the supreme abode of all rasas, that is Krishna. Atma is spiritual, and when we realize we are this Atma, and take pleasure in the self. That's why they are called as Atmarams. In the Gita, in the Bhagavad Gita 3.17, Krishna says, Yastu Atmate Vratir Evasyat Atmatruptasya Manava Atmanneva Atmana Tushta Tasya Karyana Vidyate. Yastu Atmarati. Atmarati means he has only attraction for the Atma. Yastu Atmarati Revasyat Atmatripta. He is not, Gulab Jamun Tripta or Rasgulla Tripta. He is Atma Tripta. He takes pleasure only within himself. And Atma Tushta. He is self-satisfied in the self. He doesn't take satisfaction outside himself, in the body or in the senses. Tasya karya na vidyate, he says. For him, there is no work. So self-realized state also is, to realize that you're a spirit soul and to be situated on that level is a happiness which is, not of this material world. So it is not ordinary pleasure. And in fact, there is something called as Jad Ananda. Jad means matter. Anand means to take pleasure in matter. And Brahma Ananda means pleasure in the self. Spiritual happiness, this is, but pleasure in the self. But the self and the super self is there, which is the source of the self. And devotional activities are loving reciprocation with the self and the super self. That is in bhakti. So that begins only when you have spiritual bodies where you can exchange loving reciprocations. So that happens in the spiritual world, beginning with Das, Sakya, Vatsal and Madhurya. But being in your Swarupa as Atma, and you have neither material body, you are free from the cycle of birth and death, nor you have developed your spiritual body in the spiritual world. So that bang, tata, that experience also is, the happiness is unimaginable for us, Brahmananda.
So does that also categorize as a rasa, Prabhu?
Yes, it is spiritual, but it is in one sense Shanta. It is, Shantarati, Shanta. It is spiritual, but it is not the full development of rasa. It's a beginning, you can say, in one sense. It is completely spiritual. That one thing we should be very clear. Okay?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, so we will stop here today. Grantaraj Shri Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki Jai. Hare Krishna.